Hey dudes, so I just got back from the driving from seeing Bill and Ted Face the Music. That's why I had to say dudes. Sorry, I know sounds pretty weak for a 30-year-old for saying that. Anyways, I went. This was the only way to go see this movie other than watching it on demand, which I'd have to pay $20 to rent, and I wasn't really wanting to pay $20 to rent this movie, even though it was a movie I was looking forward to. Just really, I wasn't, and all I had to do was pay $9, and it was playing alongside the original Austin Powers, which that played first, and then Bill and Ted, and it was kind of fun to watch Austin Powers again. It's been a while since I've seen the original Austin Powers. I love all the Austin Powers movies. They're all really fucking funny, and so that was kind of a nice like palate cleanser right before seeing the new Bill and Ted movie, which I've been hearing a lot about. I went into this movie relatively optimistic because just numerous things that kind of worried me. Mainly the fact that it is a comedy sequel, and it's just a fucking unwritten rule. All comedy sequels usually suck. Most of them, not all of them, most of them do. Especially ones that take like nearly 30 years to make. This movie, the last time, I had to look it up, the last one to come out, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, it was 29 years ago. It's like, wow. And like the original is like 31 years old. It's like, man, that's just it's only too goddamn long for a sequel to a movie that really didn't really need a sequel in the first place. But whatever, most comedies you really could argue don't really need a sequel anyways. But and I don't. I know this has been a movie that they've been trying to get off the ground for fucking years and years. I think like I was even reading up to like early as 2010. I remember hearing about this, and they've been working on it. They've been trying to get this movie off the ground. And normally, some people probably go, "Oh, it probably is because Keanu Reeves is a big star and he didn't want to do it." No, he was one of the fucking people that was adamant about doing this. He really wanted to do another Bill and Ted, which is awesome. You can't do Bill and Ted without Keanu Reeves. It'd be fucking pointless. He is the guy who had the bigger career out of the two, but still, like, it would not be the same. And the previews looked pretty funny. Every clip I'd seen of this movie looked funny, but I still was like, this is a comedy sequel. The track record of comedy sequels is not very good as of late. Has not been very good. But, I'm still giving it a chance. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a chance. Because, like I said, I love the first two. They're really fucking funny movies. And, you know what? This is going to be a somewhat unpopular opinion, and I'm going to get some shit for this. And it's not the opinion that you probably think I'm about to say. I'm going to be honest. I like this a lot better than fucking Tenet. I would rather watch this any goddamn day of the week than Tenet. At least this movie's an hour shorter, and I actually could kind of like kind of relate to the characters. At least this movie had characters. I like this movie a lot better than Tenet. I know that's gonna be a controversial view, but fuck it. Tenet is a mess. Like, the more I've thought about the movie, or I've been arguing about that movie for about a week now, and this movie is a way better movie to sit through than Tenet is. I love Bill. This is honestly one of the better comedy sequels I've seen in a long goddamn time. In a while, not a long time, in quite a while. I really enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I laughed my ass off. I had a good goddamn time. This is the kind of movie that we need right now in this society. Is Bill and Ted, another Bill and Ted movie. This came out at a perfect time because we are in a dire situation in this country where there's a pandemic going on, and it's very fucking depressing. And having a movie like this that's funny, stupid, takes your mind off shit and makes you just laugh at like the stupidity of these characters. It's a goddamn good thing that this movie was released when it was. It's sad that like this was supposed to be a theatrical release, just full on theatrical release, but because of the situation, of course, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winters is the best fucking part. I mean, they haven't missed a beat playing these characters. Keanu Reeves' deadpan is just fucking great, of course, as always. And I honestly almost forgot how good Alex Winter is. He is actually really good. He doesn't get enough credit, I feel. Like, everybody remembers Keanu Reeves, but Alex Winter is the one that kind of like, he's the Marty Jannetty for wrestling fans that would get that joke, or wrestling fans would get that joke, of the Bill and Ted group. Where he is pretty much forgotten about. But he is really fucking talented. I forgot how funny he is, and he is really funny in this movie. He had some of the best lines. Both of them had great lines. My particularly favorite parts were some of the dialogue, like when they're talking about how they're gonna have, because the whole plot of this movie basically is pretty much the same plot as the other two movies, pretty much over again, where they still haven't created a song that unites the world. They're still trying to figure it out, and like their band was like a big hit for a little bit of time, and then now they're just irrelevant, and they're living in the past, and they're still trying to find this one song that will unite the world, because they know that's their mission. And they're now middle-aged, got kids, are married to those princesses from the first one, who they have kids with, and they're having marital problems. I'm making this up. Or they go to a couples therapy, where they both go together in this couples therapy session, because they figure, oh, we're a couple of couples. That's literally a line in this movie. Like, yeah, like, do you see the problem? The therapist's like, do you see a problem in the situation? It's like, no, we're a couple of couples. That's funny. I was like, the stupid deadpan, like, these guys that are middle-aged and still clueless as shit, is just makes me fucking chuckle. It's like if Beavis and Butthead were 40 years old and like, or in their near 50s, and they still are clueless and dumb as hell, doing the same thing that they were doing when they were kids. It's basically what these characters are. They're almost like a live-action Beavis and Butthead. Almost. Maybe they're a little bit smart. I don't know. You can say they're probably a little bit smart. I don't know. But it like, they're fun. I love these fucking characters. Like, and like, I love the fact that they're like, the whole plot is they decide, oh, well, if we wrote this song in the future, like, that is going to unite the world, why don't we go find our future selves and steal the song? And they're like, but it isn't stealing if we're taking it from ourselves. Like, I don't know why that logic makes more sense than anything I've heard in a long damn time. Like, that is a pretty funny line. That was a great line. I love the part where they go to visit their future selves. They're like on their deathbed, like their old elderly Ben, like, hey, like basically on a fucking on their deathbed, like I said, and they were like having conversations with themselves. Like, Keanu Reeves is like, I wish I really got to know you, man. I feel like I never got to really know you. I'm fucking cracking up. I'm just like cracking up. This movie's so dumb. But it's like, that is the humor of the original. It's like, it is like a pretty fucking its humor is true to the original's type of humor that was established in the first one, in the second one. I liked the girls who played Samara Weaving, and the other girl, I forget what her name is, that played their daughters. The biggest kick I got out of was that Bill named his daughter Theodora, after Ted, or some Fia, or something like Fia, or something like that, and Ted named his daughter Billy. Like, they named their daughters after each other. That's fucking cute. I was laughing. I don't know why I got more of a laugh out of that than anything else almost. That was pretty funny. And like, they're obviously like the female counterparts of their dads, where they're pretty much look up to their dads and try to be just like their dads. To the point that the girl who played Keanu Reeves, I thought, pulled it off. Like, goddamn, like, she had the look down, had like kind of like a young Keanu Reeves mannerisms down, like his facial expressions down. It's pretty funny. It was like if Keanu Reeves was a female, young Keanu Reeves was a female, this is what he would look like, I think. It's pretty funny. I did get a kick out of that. She pulled it off pretty well. It was awesome seeing Bill Sadler again as Death. It's like he's only in this movie very shortly. Like, this movie does kind of go through the greatest hits of the original. It's kind of like it mixes both the plots of the first two movies together a little bit, where Bill and Ted are trying to go to their future selves and try to find out how they make this music that unites the world. And then, like, their daughters go on an adventure themselves, where they go into the past, where they assemble all the greatest musicians that ever lived to try to create the greatest band that ever lived, so that they can create music that will unite the world with their dads, which include Jimi Hendrix, Louis Armstrong, Mozart, who else? Some Chinese girl, Lu Lang, or was her name, and some cave girl. It's fucking weird. Who played drums. It was kind of funny. But that's like who they get to assemble to try to make the greatest band of all time. And then, of course, they end up kind of, like, as you see in the previews, they end up in hell and end up meeting Death again, and played by Bill Sadler. And like I said, it kind of comes, like, the feeling of this movie is like there's kind of feeling like they're trying to mix in a lot of the elements of the first two movies and put them in this movie. But they kind of, keep it fresh enough that it's not just repeating the same jokes over and over and over again. I felt that was nice. I like that Bill and Ted, in between this movie, Bill and Ted have fought with Death, or because had sued Death because he left the band of Wild Stallions, and like they have not got along since, and they're not been talking to each other since. That's pretty funny. That was pretty good. Kristen Shaw, I did like the little tribute that she plays Rufus's daughter. Obviously, Rufus was George Carlin, my like comedic hero. One of the person that's missing sorely, like, that was the only thing when I heard that they're making new Bill and Ted. I'm like, that's the only thing that's gonna be missing from this movie is George Carlin. Bless him, man. And they do find a way to digitally put like him in this movie. Like I think they took stock footage from the original movies, and like he's like a hologram. He's dead in this movie. Like his character's dead in this movie. And his daughter Kristen Shaw is playing his daughter, who's taken over for him to try to communicate with Bill and Ted. And but there is like a part where they go to the future, and a hologram of George Carlin speaks to them. And it's like, I heard it was like a different actor, a different voice actor did the voice of George Carlin, but he did a really good job. If I didn't know that, I would have figured that just used like stock audio of George Carlin that was never used or something like that. But no, the guy did a good enough job convincing me that was George Carlin. It was actual footage of George Carlin, so that was nice. And also a really nice thing that they did, I found out that they did. The character of Kristen Shaw plays is, her name is Kelly, and they named her after George Carlin's actual daughter, Kelly Carlin, as a tribute to her, to George Carlin. I thought that was pretty cool. That is really fucking cool. I think George will love that. I heard that his daughter actually makes a cameo. I've never seen her before, so I don't know. Yeah. I don't know where she did make a cameo. I think it was they said during like when they're in the future. But I liked that this movie. There's a part at the end of this movie where they actually asked the one question that nobody, I don't think, asked in all these movies. That's like, they finally asked this question now, like when the world is about to end. Like, they're like, how the hell are we gonna actually unite the world with music? Like, they actually asked that question. Like, how's music supposed to unite the world? And I'm like, you now ask that question? Like, this is a question I feel like, but I do find it funny they finally asked that question after all these fucking movies. I don't know what else I want to talk about. I feel like there's something else, but I really like this movie. It's really fucking funny, man. Still has the same kind of humor that you expect from a Bill and Ted movie. It is a fitting sequel. It isn't like I didn't feel like this movie was just a nostalgia trip just for the hell of it. It was a fine sequel to the original two movies. That was a fitting one too, a fitting sequel at that too. I really enjoyed the hell out of this movie, man. I had a blast. Like I said, this is a movie that I think we all need right now. A movie like this. Just a stupid, dumb, funny little comedy that just takes our mind off the horrible world we live in right now. And yeah, I love this movie, man. I really did. Again, this movie was better than Tenet. I would recommend this movie over Tenet any goddamn day of the week. And I'm sure there are people that be pissed for me saying that, but fuck you. But yeah, I recommend it if you haven't figured that out. I don't know what's next week. Oh, the Broken Hearts Gallery. I think that's the only thing coming out next week. I don't know if I'll be doing any other reviews. I might try to get a Scoob review in here sometime in the near future. I don't know if there's any other movies I'll try to get in the meantime. But until then, I will talk to you guys later.